3a. Careful. The a negative 1 can't cancel with just a plain 1. In fact, technically you're multiplying both top and bottom by the a minus 1. I was just trying to be lazy. But both of them have to be multiplied because that's where the a minus 1 comes from, right? 1 can't just poof and it's a minus 1. You have to get it there by multiplying by a minus 1. Also do that to the top, distribute. Similar thing happens here, right? You don't just cancel the a. You're technically taking the a and to get a plus 2, multiplying by a plus 2. Same thing here. We're technically multiplying the a plus 2 by the a. So again, that's not... Did you get like just 8 here instead of 4a plus 8? So somebody canceled the 2 and the a. Okay, so you did get that. And then here, the a doesn't cancel with this a, rather multiplying top and bottom by the a to get the a. Make sense? All right, questions? Let's see. So we get some trouble right off the bat. The rest of it couldn't possibly happen. All right, you two, did we get the first initial step correct? Setting this up. Okay. Did anyone get it all the way to the end perfectly? All the way through? Kind of, sort of. Okay, so Noah, give me some feedback. Maddie, I'll come to you in a second.
I forgot the exclude value.
Okay, so other than excluded values, you were good. So just remember those things that start out down here in the bottom and they flip up to the top. Just watch out for those. Okay, Maddie, how far did you get? Where did trouble start, or did you make it all the way through? So like Noah, just stop being like Noah. Remember the excluded values. We're falling into that rut again. All right, questions on this? Questions on this? All right. We also had rational equations, equations with fractions, and I've tried so hard to indoctrinate you. I feel like, Maddie, I kind of got you there. Indoctrinated, I mean, but the rest of you are seeming resistant to the brainwashing. Class, how do we feel about fractions and equations? We do. We hate them. Brecken, do you hate fractions and equations? With a fiery passion. All right, you have a strange way of showing it. With a fiery passion. Fiery, super fiery. It's awful. It's worse than ever. Everyone says so. Anyway, so what do we do to get rid of these fractions that we hate so much, Brecken? There we go. Okay, so at your seats, got a couple of equations for you. 4 over x equals 14 over 5x minus 2/5. 4 over x minus 7 over x negative 5 plus 1 over x squared negative 5x. those two finished up. On the first equation, what's the LCD by which we must multiply everything, Maddie? And we multiply everything by 5x. Here we're going to get equals super straightforward. Good to go so far on this one. And then from here, let's just move the well, actually, you know what? Yeah, let's just move the 14 over as a negative 14 to get class. 6 equals, good, not 2x, negative 2x. So when we divide both sides, we need to divide by class negative 2. And when we do, we get x is equal to negative 3 as our answer. Questions on that? All right, looking at this next one. They multiply everything by the LCD, but we kind of can't do that yet. Because my denominators have not been, Noah, either Brecken. What do I have to do with denominators? Polynomial denominators or group. Right, so this one here we just need to group, but this one's got to be factored. No, we should have factored it into there we go. And now we can actually see what the LCD is. The LCD is x times x negative 5. We'll multiply everything by x negative 5. Now I do want to point out subtraction. Watch for subtraction, or in other words, adding the class inverse. It's going to be important here. So we're going to cancel the x's and we get what, Noah? Here we're going to cancel the x negative 5s, and we're going to get negative 7x. And then here, I mean, I guess it all cancels, so we just get 1. At this point, did we clear the equation, the fractions correctly? Okay, good. From here, let's go ahead and combine some like terms, Brecken. Negative 3x. Let's also ditch the 20 to the other side as a positive 20 to get. And here we need to divide both sides by to get negative 7. And there's our answer. X was not allowed to be 0 or 5, and it wasn't either. Here, of course, x could not be 0. And there are our answers. Questions on those? Yes, sir.
I didn't do the x from x negative 5, but I still got the same answer. I kept it as x squared negative 5.
So you wrote x squared minus 5x here? Yeah. And you saw that the x negative 5 would cancel to leave you with an x, though. So mentally, you were still factoring it. Even if you didn't show the factors step, I would recommend showing the factor step just so you don't accidentally screw up, but your brain was still factoring it. Couldn't help itself. They've been trained. All right, questions on this? All right. Of course, proportions. We've already looked at a few of those in going over word problems. What's the slope formula, class?
M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
All right, Maddie started out and she just gave up. And M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's what we would use if we want to find slope. What slope-intercept form of an equation? Y equals mx plus b. Brecken's looking right at it. It says slope-intercept form. Wonder if that's what he wants. What do we use slope-intercept form of an equation to find? Equations. So if we want an equation, start with slope-intercept form of an equation and plug in the pieces, right? If we want slope, use the slope formula. Graphing equations, I feel like we're good. Types of slope we reviewed yesterday. Finding slope, we're good. Finding equations, let's practice just a little bit with that, shall we? suppose I know an equation has a slope of, I don't know, -2/5. And it goes through the point 0, -8. What is the equation of the line at your seats? Line has a slope of -2/5 and goes through 0, -8. What is the equation of the line? All right, so what is this, class? It's the y-intercept. So that's B, and that's M. And if I'm finding an equation, I use what? That thingy, slope-intercept form. That's what it says right there at the top. Can you read that, Brecken?
Slope-intercept form.
Yeah, exactly, Brecken. Good job. And so, what is my equation, Brecken? There we go. We get that? All right. What if I have a slope of the line is, I don't know, 7/4, and this line goes through the point -12, -1. Find for me the equation of the line. All right. What do we need to do first here, Brecken? There we go. And then I need to plug in some numbers. What's it going to look like when I do? There we go. We can do a little canceling to get a... which really gives me, which we move over as a, to get B is equal to, and so therefore the equation is, there we go, to get this answer. All right, I want you to find the equation of the line that goes through -3, 4, and to -1. First thing we have to find, class, is the
Slope.
And what did you find the slope to be, Noah?
-1.
Yes, -1 is our slope, and then you did,
Y
and remember here, you pick whichever point you want to plug in.
equals -1 times slope plus B.
I like his choice of the point that has the smaller numbers. We will multiply to get,
-2.
but we'll move it over as a,
Positive.
to get B equals
1.
1. I know B, I know M. What's the equation?
Y equals -1x. Positive 1.
And there we go. You could just say -x plus 1, but nothing wrong with saying the -1x to have this equation. I want the equation of a line that's parallel, that's what that symbol means, parallel to y equals negative 2/3 x plus 4, but it goes through the point negative 6, negative 5. And the equation of a line parallel to that through that point. All right, first thing, anytime you see parallel, class, you need to think two words. Same slope. So what's the slope of this line? So what's the slope of my line? Negative 2/3. I have a point, that's an xy. I have a slope. I can now start with, Maddie, and plug in. All right, we have negative and negative that are going to cancel. We also have 6 and 3 are going to cancel to give us. So this really ends up becoming a, which moves over as a, to give me b is equal to. So my equation is, notice it's going to start the same way because they're parallel lines. Of course they are. Just different y-intercepts because they're obviously different lines. Did you get this equation? Y equals negative 2/3 x negative 9? Question. All right. This symbol means perpendicular. There is a line that passes through negative 1, 5 and negative 3, 2. I want my line to be perpendicular to that line. And my line's going to go through negative 6, 4. I see perpendicular. I need to think negative reciprocal slope. So we start by finding the slope of their line, the given line, which is 3/2. My line needs to have a slope of
-2.
Do we get that initial step? Found their slope, took the negative reciprocal of it because my line won't have the same slope. It's going to have this slope, which coincidentally is the same slope as the last two lines we did. So my perpendicular is going to be parallel to the other lines. So I guess those lines are going to be perpendicular to this line. Anyway. And lo and behold, my b is 0. What is a y-intercept of 0? The origin, right? So my line happens to go through the origin. y equals negative 2/3 x plus 0. Or just that. And there we go. So my perpendicular goes right through the origin. Do we get this equation? Or perhaps had the plus 0, which would not be wrong. Questions on this? All right, your test tomorrow, again, covers sections 11.8 to 11.10 and all of chapter 3. Make sure you have a straight edge tomorrow. You will have to graph 3 different equations. You'll be free to choose whatever method you want. Okay, so you've got that flexibility. If you like intercepts, you like slope-intercept formatting technically, I won't even dock points if you really like the XY table method. Though I hope I've taught you well enough that you wouldn't want to choose that method. All right, have a wonderful rest of your day. You are dismissed.